I may just stay on this camera. Bill Nagel. You made it.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Did you lose power?
No.
No. Oh God, we've been out for 24 hours.
Wow. Are you still out? Is that the generator?
Yep. And we lost the internet about an hour and a half ago.
Oh.
But Jeff wasn't going to be able to be in class much today anyway, so that was all right. And I'm able to record
Okay.
without being on Zoom. A different recording. I just have to figure out how to capture it. But I'll find it. Ah, thank you, sir.
And that has God's in it also.
That's what? Oh, okay.
You know, it is coming up, I think.
God's is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
This is not till after the first of the year.
Oh. Okay, I got the emails.
do you wanna rewrite the check? No.
No.
Okay. Well, some people might, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad.
So I saw, signs of small branches down on
Clark Hill.
Clark Hill,
Well, last night it was totally blocked. There was a big tree down, wires apparently all over the place.
wow.
So they got that cleaned up. There were 25 roads totally blocked in East Haddam yesterday.
It's amazing what one side of the river or the other,
Yeah.
means. Yeah, we had, I doubt whether it ever got much above 25 miles an hour, you know, breezes.
Oh, really?
In Chester, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we looked at reports from across the state, and there are all
Yeah.
kinds of damage, but we escaped.
That's great. Oh, I'm glad. You don't need it.
We were ready, but
Well, I'll tell you, we're loving our generator.
yeah.
Um,
Does it run everything, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We actually, when we just got it installed like a month ago.
Yeah,
You know. But we have the two buildings, and he said, if you're gonna do this, you really should do one big enough to adequately power both buildings.
Yeah.
And we sort of hummed and hawed a little bit, and then we have a 22,000 watt generator out there.
Yeah, mine's 8, yeah.
Well, 7,500 was my gasoline one, and that.
Yeah, and that's what I have, yeah.
Yeah,
So.
and it was okay, but
Yeah.
there was a lot of drawbacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this
Among
is.
them, you know, for me, it's getting the thing started. I have it on a drip feed so that the battery stays fresh.
Oh.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
And I turn it over, but it's still a bother, and
Oh, yeah.
we get the pump, so we have water, and toilets and some lights, some in the
Refrigerator.
kitchen, but the stove won't run, obviously, and any AC, heating, you know,
Yeah.
things don't,
Yeah,
But
well,
we have a wood stove, so we haven't
yeah.
felt compelled to.
I'll tell you,
take the leap.
I have an app on this thing, so it was only using 28% of its potential power and that was, everything, heat, everything running. So we're more than covered. But it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I know how much I paid for just the little one,
Yeah.
and it's not even automatic,
Yeah.
so,
Well, if you want to know, it cost us 12 grand
Okay,
to get.
that's actually better than I thought it might be.
That included the installation.
Yeah, and you had to get a propane tank?
2 propane tanks.
2 propane tanks, yeah.
Depends, and I realize that I suppose what we got, I think, is adequate. We got 225 gallon tanks. Based on how much we've used in the last 24 hours, I'd say we're probably pretty safely covered for at least 5 days.
Okay.
If I had realized that, based on the fact that had one time when we were out for 10 days.
Mm.
I might have opted to get bigger tanks,
Yeah.
but this is certainly more than adequate for most of what we get.
Yeah.
We're rarely out. We've almost never been out more than 2 or 3 days. We're unfortunately kind of at the end of the road.
Yeah. Well, we have. I mean, we're right by the yacht club over there.
Yeah.
So they really try to get that. There are not many houses, but it's a major electric artery.
Yeah.
As well as a road artery on 154. So it has to be. It's been a few years since we were out for multiple days.
That's great.
We had 2 trees just within the last 6 weeks, I'd say. Knocked it out for 3 hours and 4 hours. That's
That's very.
We have the wood stove going, the refrigerator and freezer. I didn't even turn the generator on. It was at night.
Yeah.
Turned on candles and sat in the area. And the house is it's a contemporary, so it's very open. And the wood stove.
So the wood stove probably
heats certainly 2/3 of the downstairs quite adequately.
Oh, nice.
And we have to close the doors in the bedrooms upstairs. It gets so hot up there with the heat rising.
Yeah.
So.
A wood stove is a useful thing.
Yeah.
much more so than a fireplace.
Yeah.
So, I had when I lived in Newport, I lived in a converted stable in Newport, which was a wonderful space, and I had. At one point, I had 3 Great Danes in there. Stable was a good choice.
Yeah.
But it was basically heated by a wood stove. I mean, I had other heating, but I used the wood stove, and it was fantastic. Just really heated the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the Great Danes used to lie with their heads underneath the stove. I thought, how do they do that? But they were wonderful dogs. God, I loved my Great Danes. Well, so. How are you today?
Okay. This time of year, I keep expecting it to slow down, but it seems to speed up. With more things, and, more driving around, and, well, for one thing, Cynthia's 2 sons and one family, or the grandkids are now at an age where they want to stay home. So we get to drive instead of everybody coming to Chester. So
thanks.
And the other one, his partner is pregnant, so whereas they were going to show up for Christmas, we're going to go down to New York and see them. So there's actually 3 nasty drives, two to Boston and 1 to New York, in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, jeez. I don't envy you that.
No.
Particularly since I don't drive anymore.
We can do it, and we're used to it, somewhat. But it takes more and more out of us. We need the day after to recover.
Yeah, absolutely. Jane just can't do the kind of driving that we used to do. You know, I don't think we would even go to New York or to Boston now.
Yeah.
Because she has some back issues, although this car has improved her back issues a lot. But you know, after she drives a couple hours, she's done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so
Yeah, I just had a wellness visit yesterday, so I rehearsed all the joys of getting older.
That's funny. Don't we all have them? Indeed. Well, we should do a little here. Questions or thoughts to throw into the mix today?
Not really. I mean, practice has been scattered. I still, in the form, grasping sparrow's tail and the area around shoulder, I've been working on, but it's still mechanical, and I'm, after all this time, still feeling my way somehow. Yeah.
Well, we'll work on that today.
Okay.
See if we can help you smooth that out.
And as you said last week, you know,
Yeah.
intention, you know, what I want, especially in grasping sparrow's tail, instead of just.
Yeah. Intention helps, yes.
You know, so.
Yeah. I wanted to add something else to think about in the 8 gates standing. I don't know how much you're familiar with 5 elements, 5 phases of change theory.
Not very familiar.
So that of course is wood, fire, earth, metal, and water.
Mm-hmm.
And in Master Joe's 8 gates training, he aligns the 5 elements and the 3 dantians with the 8 basic energies and the 5 element organs and the 3 dantian energy centers. So it gets a little complex, but what I'm pointing out is that another way to approach the standing work is to focus, as you're doing each of the positions, focus on bringing energy into that area and allowing used or noxious energy to leave.
Okay.
So in a way, you can think of it as breathing into those areas. So the 8, just to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the upper dantian, which is the 3rd eye, which is the entrance into the 40 energetic brain centers. which we won't try to break down at the moment. Yeah, just as well. Kun earth is the lower dantian. Kan is water, which is kidneys. So you're breathing into the kidneys with this. This is heart. So one of the things that with some of these, they relate to the position.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one, this is one of the ones where being aware that you're breathing, you're into the heart as you do these movements, and it's at heart level.
Yeah.
So being aware of that. This is liver. Why is this the liver? Well, I think part of the posture, I think, is expansion into because the liver is a huge organ. And this is the wood element, so this is the one that is focused on the liver. So as you're doing this, you're breathing into the liver. This is lungs, which is kind of obvious, sort of, that feels good. I think the one that's hardest to be aware of is this is Earth's spleen. So do you know where the spleen is?
Yeah.
Okay. You'd be surprised how many people don't know where the spleen is. It's also one of the hardest organs to really breathe into, to really feel.
There'd be no reason for you to remember this, but in one of the Nagong classes, we were practicing breathing into the spleen, and I overdid it. In class, and I got out of balance and
I vaguely remember that now. I'd forgotten that. So don't do that. You have a good memory of where the spleen is. Good. Okay. And this is the middle dantian, which is actually right at the base of the sternum. So those are the 5 organs and the 3 energy centers that we'd like to focus on as we're doing the standing work. And I think if you only do 3 breaths, you won't overdo an area. The ideal really with the 8 gates, Master Joe suggested that you should do 8 breaths with each one.
Okay.
That may or may not be appropriate since you're apparently sensitive. I don't know how much we did the spleen.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I've never had any other kind of issue that I know of.
Excuse me.
But
yeah.
At home, I rarely stop at 3. I mean, I go to 4 or 5.
Good. So the other thing I'll just mention, I don't know whether I probably said this before when we were working on 5 elements, but Master Joe suggested if you wanted to treat an organ or an energy center, if you felt a need to do that, that 20 was the appropriate number to use for that. And actually I've done that, of doing 8 breaths for everything else, but having one that I wanted to focus on and did the 20 there. So just a note.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's try the 8 gates, and I'll
you could stay out of the way of seeing.
Well, it's not.
Hi, Jeff.
Not a big deal. But I do want to record it for Jeff.
Yeah.
So I will talk it as we go through. I don't expect you
Good.
necessarily to have remembered all
Yeah,
of them. And I will send you handouts that will.
Okay, I probably have charts with the 5 elements and the, a lot of the
Yeah.
connections, but I haven't looked at them recently.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll send you new ones. I actually decided to get some different ones than I had used before. So stepping out, and coming into Wu Jibu. Just standing, let yourself land, and feel and connect down into the earth. Open the feet and the ankles and the legs. Make sure the perineum and the qua are open. Lift the torso a little, keeping the midriff open. The armpits, the throat notch, and that point where the spine joins the brain. Allowing you to open by way and connect up into the universe. And then, using twisting out and shifting to the heel, let the energy that the body can no longer use sink down into the earth, to drop through your body. Release it down into the earth, where it can be purified and recycled. And then coming back to center first. And beginning to focus on the 8 gates, extending the mind through the body. And begin. Coming up to Xiang, heaven. That connection to the third eye and into the brain. So breathing energy into the brain and releasing any used. Coming down to Kun, earth, and connecting with the lower Dantian. Breathing into it and out of it. Then coming into the position of Kan, water. Breathing into the kidneys, that important reservoir of the original energy of the body. And coming up to heart level and breathing into the heart. Position of wood and breathing into the liver. Try to expand and contract the organ. The lungs. Breathing fresh energy into the lungs. So not only air, but really feeling the energy. Down to earth and focusing on the spleen. Then coming into the middle dantian. hearing amplifiers, and the other one stopped working as a result.
Hmm.
Normally that would have just gone into my ears and I
Yeah.
would have ignored it, but I haven't gotten them new of anything yet, so, any questions in there?
No, that, obviously, focusing on the energy centers and the organs, uh, 8 would be better than 3 in order to really get something going.
Yep, yep, yep. I'm only doing 3 in order to have time.
Yeah. The other thing that it occurred to me is that I don't know. I mean, obviously we work on the lower dantian a lot, and this is familiar enough, but I don't have much knowledge about the middle dantian, or understanding of its role in all this.
It's confusing. When they talk about the three powers, Jing, Qi, and Shen, that relates to the 3 dantians. So Jing is the original essence that actually you receive at the time of conception from parents, ancestors, and the universe at that moment. And it is the energy which creates life, and it determines the length of your life, and the quality of your life. And it can be, some of it can be destroyed by any kind of excess, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, you name it, psychic, karmic. You cannot add to the Jing. You can increase its quality. So a practice like this actually would be inclined to be able to help your Jing if it needs to be.
Yeah.
It is related to the lower dantian, but it is actually stored in the kidneys. But of course, the kidneys and Mingmen and the lower dantian are all connected by the belt channel, that energy channel that circles the center of the body.
Yeah.
Obviously, we also think of Qi as having a lot to do with the lower dantian, but when we talk about the 3 powers and the 3 dantians, there is the concept that Qi, in the process of transformation to Shen, which is spiritual Qi, resides at the middle dantian, which is related to the heart-mind. Is this more than you wanted to know about?
Well, no. And certainly having done the Nagong class, I mean, I'm saying, yes, I remember that.
So heart-mind, of course, is related. It's related to the heart, to the ability of the heart to function in some ways as a mind center, and it is related to the unconscious mind rather than the conscious mind. The Shen is spiritual energy, related, interestingly enough, to through the third eye, the upper dantian. I think I'm not going to get further into that at the moment. It's probably enough.
Yeah.
So the middle dantian is considered to be very important. It's more important in the fire tradition than it is in the water tradition, because in the fire tradition, in order to arrive at enlightenment, there is a whole process of moving energy from the lower dantian through the middle dantian to the upper dantian, and connecting then to the universe as part of the process of clearing the 8 energy bodies. Blah blah blah. So they are all important. It is not it is important. The middle dantian is really important for us in its relationship as being in some people's thought the center of the heart mind.
Okay.
In other people, they know that actually is a point somewhere between the heart and the middle dantian. I don't think there's real agreement about that, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
But there is a real connection between the middle dantian and the heart, and it is certainly related to that whole concept of the heart mind. So, shall we look at the beginning of the form?
Okay.
So, I guess kind of my thought is to work together through that area first.
Okay.
Because I think that it's important to intellectually be really clear about it. That's kind of the first step. So I understand what you're saying about it. It's there's a lot going on here. Yeah, you can be wherever you like.
Yeah, this way I will be able to
Yeah.
at least keep half an eye on you.
Half an eye, okay. So we begin by twisting in and sinking into the right leg, and then turning left to step empty, and continuing to rotate and shift as we go into Pung. And one of the things I would say is endeavor perhaps to rotate the hands so they face towards each other a little bit more. So instead of ending up here, end up more here.
Okay. It's that kind of thing, because I know this is to
Yeah.
do that, and I know this is to do that, and therefore I was going
Yeah.
like that, and I get confused.
So one of the things to remember if you're thinking, I mean, we talked about the fact that the right hand in that first grasping sparrow's tail is doing on. We have to remember, if you go back and think about on in the Yang style, if you remember that the first on we do is push down with the back of the hands.
Yep.
So it doesn't have to be here.
Right. Yeah.
Which is the point of that.
Yeah.
And so push downward here at the moment, this may actually be going this way.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not focusing on particularly that at the moment.
Yep.
What we're focusing on is just getting to this point. And one of the things here is to not be fully rotated forward.
Right.
So that you have, as you twist in and out, you still have a little rotation and a little shift into the completion of that. And that's one of the trickiest bits in this form, because even when you slow it down, there isn't much time in there to do it. And this is press forward, so that's going outward here. And then here, yes, this movement, it's interesting. There, you have one has a feeling that as you come into this, that you're going out. You don't have to think of it necessarily as out, because all you have to do is switch to the opposite edge of the hands.
Okay.
And all of a sudden it's going in. But there is an expansion in that, and that's intentional, obviously. As we were talking about last week, that we get to here, and this is making that space in here to be able to suck their energy in and bounce them away. The feet, once you've gotten here, you want this foot to touch just as you're ready to begin on.
Okay.
So, other questions in there? No?
I think, well.
So let's just do it again. So spiral down into the right, step empty, keep rotating and shifting to pung, G, shift forward, loop, touch, in, out, on, and in, turning forward, turn on the left heel, step with the right foot empty, rotate and shift to pung, G, loop, on. Question?
I understand, you know, at least up to a point.
Yeah.
So
just try that. Let me see if there's anything that I can.
part of the problem is that I've been doing it sloppily or ineffectively for so long that I have to unlearn some stuff too.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Well,
I should have
no,
caught that.
Yeah. It's amazing how fast and thoroughly bad stuff creeps in.
Isn't it? Yeah,
and
okay.
and you just, I lose track of, you know, that it's actually happening, you know.
Mhm. Sure.
So.
Okay, so I think one of the ways to approach this would be to not worry about flow. And actually that's appropriate in the beginning of learning any Tai Chi posture. You can forget about flow and just try to get the pieces that are in there. I'm gonna turn and face you for a moment. So what I saw was, as you went down here, your hands had already crossed the center line of the body. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And actually, in that beginning movement, the arms just twist. They don't go anywhere. They lift a little. They expand. Actually, they're they're twisting in. They're twisting in, little finger edge in, and then step and go to palm and pause. Just pause. Do you still have room to rotate? Are you where you want to be at this point? And then do G. In, out. How does that feel? Oh, I didn't turn that foot right. Okay. And then ooh. So shift forward, touch. How does that feel? Settle into that left foot. Make sure you've got your balance there. Make sure you haven't stepped too far forward with the right foot, because it should not overlap the heel, not go past the line of the heel. And then on. Better. But let yourself, in working on this, let yourself have a little practice of
pause.
Pung.
Yeah.
G. Would you step for David? Lu. On. And just really feel each one. And keep working on trying to feel those movements coming from the back through the arms, not led by the hands. The hands are the end, not the beginning. Actually, they are coming from the quad and the legs. Actually.
Yeah.
But we start with getting them to come from the scapula. So this is all in the back, not the hands leading. Yeah. So try it once more, and try just doing it once, really taking the pauses. Let yourself just have that moment. So, see what happened there?
No.
You didn't shift the weight all the way. you've got here, and then in order to step, you had to go further, you had to do something else.
Yeah, okay. But I remember having difficulty doing the step smoothly, and I didn't understand why. Yeah,
So if you twist in and you get to 100% here, then the rotation just puts that foot out. You don't have to do anything with it. You know, the body will just say, there's where it goes. Now I'm here. Go the other
I
side.
didn't pause.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm here. I just went like that and moved my weight forward.
And you did it from your chest rather than from your dantian.
So
Sit on that leg. That allows you to come into this.
okay. This is the level that I like to be practicing at, though. I mean,
Yeah.
very fine tuning.
Yeah, no, this is what you need. I recognize that.
Yeah. Am I at an appropriate?
That looks pretty good, actually, yeah.
Okay. And the.
And see, this is a tough one because I'll try to mirror you here. You're here.
Yep.
This isn't, you know, it's you get to here, and really it's in this way and out. Little finger edge and elbows coming in and out. No, you're going out.
Ooh.
So you get to pung.
Oh,
So now you want to come in and out. Yeah. So you want, when you get to here, you're going to, I'm going to exaggerate this, but you're pushing the scapula in and you're spreading the scapula out.
yeah.
And then they're coming in again and out. And in a way, this is, you can think of this also as being, doing the energies in rollback the opposite of how we do them in the Yang style. Because the Wu is not the Yang. It may have come from the Yang, but it's not the Yang. So when we've gone to ward off in the Yang style, we go out and in. In the Wu style, we change that and we go in and out, and in and out. So that's another way to look at it. You can also, depending on what you're actually doing there, it could be that you're going in and in and in and out. So you can play with either one of those.
Okay. That's rather different from what I've been doing. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And the other side is the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once you've arrived here, then we go to single whip. So we have a step, which is a turn and step. By the way, it's turn, and that begins the twisting in. And you continue twisting in through the turning of the right foot to straight. And then you're twisting out onto the right, 100%, so you can twist in and reset that left foot. You not only twist, but there is a clear bending in there. And then rotate and extend out.
I wasn't 100% on that.
And I
Probably haven't been for a long time.
Yeah, I turned that foot too far here. So ideally, this just turns about straight, and then the right turns straight, and then you go to 100%, which releases that left foot and allows you to reset it on that twist in, and then to go into the posture. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that probably is, you were probably pretty close to that.
I feel comfortable there. Yeah.
Okay. Then we shift into the left. Now again, this is that shift to 100%. And what happens here is that to begin with, both arms continue to expand out. So we're not twisting and bending in until we get to 100% on that right foot. And then we begin bending in, and we continue bending and twisting in till we get to here. And then we rotate and shift, twisting out. We release, twisting in. We shift the weight, twisting out. And then we can, well, I should stop there for a moment. So the hands need to rise a little more, so that because your hands sort of stayed down here, so that your pull down was sort of here. We want the sense that, maybe this arm was up here.
Okay.
And so you had to get up to about that level, so that when you've gone here, your hands are kind of at mid-chest level. And that gives you some place to go. You go bump this arch here.
Yeah, I'm a foot too low.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It just helps, it'll make the movement make more sense. And then twist in, expand out.
Yeah. And now it's, it's the next sequence that's
That
the
really
problem child.
And it isn't easy. Let's see, we've shifted back, and now we're going to sit on that left foot, and we're going to rotate in. So you're really twisting in and bringing that right knee in to protect the groin is really what the movement is. And then you're going to twist and start stepping to the corner. But you want to make sure that, well, actually you can turn all the way to face the corner, because now you're going to rotate left as you shift forward and expand into shoulder. So I'm going to turn this on another angle here. So when you shifted back, you continue back, but that movement is starting to separate the arms. They're not rotating in this case. At this point, they're just bending in and changing level slightly. And then they twist in. Then they twist out. And, I'm sorry, you're still twisting in at this point as you step. And then you twist out as you rotate and shift forward. So you're in approximately a bow stance to the corner is really where you're trying to get. So we've gone into that push away here.
Yep.
And then you're going to shift to 100% on the left, rotate in, rotate and step out, but the arms are still in, still twisting in at that point. Now you rotate left and shift forward. So when you pushed here, you shift, turn and draw in, turn and step, rotate and shift into the posture.
What have I been doing? What I've been doing is doing way more rotation.
Yeah.
So that I'm on that, and I really should be to the corner.
Yep. To the front corner.
No wonder I'm in knots.
Are you in knots? Oh no.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
I get all twisted up, because I'm over rotating.
Yep.
I think.
So if I put this back in the orientation that I'm working with here, we've gone here, we sit on that left, we rotate in, we rotate out, and we rotate and shift forward.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a bow stance to the front corner so that I can twist and bend in and twist and bend out. And nothing to it, right?
No.
Yeah, better. You're gonna so, you know, part of the problem is that you were doing much better about getting to here,
Mm-hmm.
but you went to here and you shifted part way forward right away.
Okay.
So you want to make sure this is absolutely empty.
Okay.
It's completely empty. You could kick him if you had to, okay? And then you fill it. And don't go too far forward. You're going to here.
Okay.
Stop. Knee over the ankle. So you didn't do the rotation.
I'm sorry?
You didn't do the rotation. You did the movement of the leg, but you just moved the leg. You didn't rotate the leg back. Ah, good.
Okay. And this is, oh, okay, yeah.
Empty. Good.
Empty, yeah.
Now good.
No, I'm used to being here.
Right. Uh-huh.
I don't know where to go, because I've been used to coming over and doing something like that, and.
Yeah, no, you're not. So go back to the push. Good. Step, no, just stay there for a moment, okay? So what's happened is you're here. Now rotate and shift forward. Rotate left and shift forward. Shift forward. Yeah, push.
Okay.
Everything expands, boom.
Okay. Actually, I have been building in at least one, if not two, extra moves in there somehow.
Yeah, somehow that you don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're all you're really trying to do is get into here and what sometimes this helps. You've gone to here and that push obviously must not have done what you wanted to do, and this guy is coming into you. So what you do is you guide him past you, or you absorb that energy, and or you pull him in a little bit so that you can step into him and then go. Boom. Have I filled you too full?
No, but this is exactly what I need.
Oh, good.
So,
Good.
we are probably,
We probably are.
over.
It's all right. Let me give you a hug. Have a nice holiday.
Yeah, you too, that's right.
January 2nd is the next class.
Right.
But I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, happy holiday to you and
Thank
Jane
you.
both.
Thank you. And you drive carefully.
Yes. Now there was, there were ground up little branches on the road, but no sign of any,
that's
there was
great.
an Xfinity truck way down near near 82, but
Well, I wish
that was the only work being done, so.
They said there's still 200 people out around here. somewhere,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure where. I know two roads, Warner and AP Gates, are both still blocked. Those are smaller roads, up a little ways.
Yeah.
We'll get there. One step at a time. Our generator needed testing. That's